All right, back with another episode. Today we're going to be talking about getting old. Yep, it's a fun one, all right. All right, let's roll right into it.
Your brain is one of your most important organs. Home to billions of neurons, it's your body's mission control.
Yes.
As you go through life, your body changes radically. Inside your head, your most complex organ is constantly transforming too, beginning work before you're born and continuing even after you've been declared dead. This is the life cycle of your brain.
Awesome.
Your brain starts to form about 2 weeks after conception. On one side of the developing embryo, the cells thicken to form what is called the neural plate. Around week 4, this folds over onto itself, forming a tube which ultimately creates the nervous system. Every minute, from the time the neural tube closes, your brain is growing hundreds of nerve cells called neurons.
Whoa.
At birth, your brain contains about 100 billion neurons.
Wow.
More than an adult. This gives the baby the best chance of developing a healthy brain. The excess neurons are shed before you become an adult. But what you don't have is a lot of synapses, the point of contact where electronic signals are passed between neurons, which in turn change the behavior of the neurons. Some neurons become insulated by a fatty substance called myelin. These neurons, known as white matter, are able to transmit information faster between brain areas, allowing more complex processes to take place. When you're born, the average number of synapses per neuron is 2,500, but that increases to approximately 15,000 per neuron over the first few years of your life.
It's totally different for me now after having a child, and like he's only 2.
Yeah.
So I watched him go through this phase, and it's remarkable how quickly they change, you know, from just being a newborn, and then now he talks in full sentences and he expresses himself, and it's unbelievable.
It really is something. I've seen it with my nephew, but I see him in there's gaps of time between seeing it, right? It's just crazy. I'll see him, then I'll see him like a few months later, and like he's grown, and now his sentences are clearer and his diction's really good, and I'm just like, what just happened? It's incredible.
I think you see it more because, like you said, it's sporadic, right? It's not every day. Yeah. It's a lot more apparent, you know. You're just like, you were mumbling that sentence, and now I guess one day
it's like,
I guess they start like asking you questions eventually, right? Like my son doesn't really ask me questions yet.
He did. He asked me a question actually recently, which just kind of had me laughing because it's a question I'd normally ask him, like, you know, kind of teasing him, a friendly little question. And then I see him, and I must have forgotten to ask him. So he turns to me, and in a full, clear sentence, he's about 2 or 3. He asks me 3, I'd say. He asks me the question I normally ask him, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. I start laughing. I'm like, here, like, he's speaking in like full-on sentences. He's making sense. You know, he's like, even if he's playing with you know, Star Wars characters or whatever, it's all like he knows the characters.
Yeah.
Like it's just unbelievable. I'm like, man, this is so cool to watch him develop language skills and his brain just all those neurons firing.
Yeah, my son remembers all of our, I call it shtick, but the jokes. He remembers our jokes. So like just yesterday, I introduced the word doo-doo to him, and he loved the word doo-doo.
Okay.
He was like, doo-doo, doo-doo. And then I picked up his Mickey Mouse, and I go, Mickey goes doo-doo. And then this morning I'm coming down, I'm not paying any attention. No, I hear doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. And I'm like, I didn't realize he was doing doo-doo.
Oh, yeah.
And then he ran and he got Mickey, and he came up to me, and he's like, doo-doo. I'm like, oh, you totally remember. You got the whole stick.
So funny. He's got it. Yeah. And it's neat how was playing with the word throughout the morning after you taught it. Like this new word is like so.
Yeah, he likes silly words, obviously. Like the kids love, you know, doo-doo, mama, papa, they love all that stuff. And now he's upset. He had a birthday recently, so he had some balloons. This is a funny story. So I kept smacking his balloon. I was going, booba, booba. This, you know, I like to try to get him to smack it. And it's funny. So the next day he comes up and he's just like, booba. And he's like, we named the balloon Booba. And then Booba eventually, we have like a higher ceiling in the one part. And then Booba went to the ceiling, like all the way up. So you couldn't get him, right? So I started shooting him with these little Nerf guns. And then the next hour, a couple later, he's like, shoot Booba, shoot Booba. So now when we wake up, we find these balloons and we have to shoot Booba. So the progression of like just me starting a joke to him, it's now a whole thing, you know? It's funny.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, at a certain age, they latch on to like whatever silly thing you might be doing, and I've done it too. And it's amazing how they. I mean, I get a kick out of their reactions. Yeah. Like the kids are like, you know, they're playing with a balloon or like, you know, whatever you do, or something like this here.
Yes.
Bowling, I guess.
Yeah, bowling.
Yeah, it's just so much fun to watch because they're learning as they're doing it. It's like,
when you're first doing it, it's not called bowling. It'll have like this other name. That's what I love about when they're little like that. It's like,
yeah, you're right. You're right. They give it another name sometimes.
It'd be like,
make up a word.
It'd be like blue, red. I'm like, oh, you want to play blue, red, yellow? Like,
yeah. And it's funny because you almost develop like your own little like language, like an us mentality with it. Like you have a word for it. You know what the word is, you know, and you all know what it means.
And I gotta say, having, you know, before I had kids, you know, I didn't get too excited about kids, but now that I've had them, even watching a video like this, I'm like, oh, I get it. They're a lot of work, but I don't know. It's fun. It's fun.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
As your neurons,
there's a lot of moments that aren't fun, but the ones that are fun are great.
Mature and create new synapses. The speed at which they form synapses could be one reason children find it easier to learn things like languages or musical instruments.
Yeah.
It's also why children's experiences in this phase can have lasting effects on their development.
Yes.
From age 3 until about 10, your brain starts to remove connections it no longer needs.
Oh, well.
Neuroscientists used to think all synapses worked at a constant, fixed level. But now, they understand that synapses can be strengthened or weakened depending on how they are used.
Neuroplasticity.
This is known as neuroplasticity.
Hey, good job. You know your stuff.
There we go.
You called it.
It's essentially your brain's way of making sure it's more efficient with experience and absorbs new information.
If you're enjoying this film and want to read more of our coverage, why not?
Thanks, buddy.
When you become a teenager, your brain has stopped growing, but it continues to develop. The insulation of the neurons, which begins at birth, continues over many years. It starts at the back of the brain and moves forward, so different parts of your brain develop at different rates. Areas associated with reward, like the ventral striatum, develop faster than the prefrontal cortex, which is linked to self-control and rationality.
Right.
Teens also...
That's when you drink, that's what gets cloudy and diminished. So therefore you become more erratic and more out of control, you know?
That's right.
Experience major changes in their limbic system, the part of the brain that controls emotions. All this might explain why teenagers experience more mood swings than adults.
Yeah.
Neuroscientists believe the difference in development between the emotion-driven part of the brain and the rational part may also be the reason teenagers are more likely to take risks or experience addiction compared with adults. Puberty also brings with it increased activity in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that relates to self-evaluation. This change can improve teenagers' understanding of social interactions and their ability to form friendships. But it might also make them more susceptible to social anxiety.
Okay.
Post-puberty, the brain continues to develop. Brain tissue in the prefrontal cortex increases connections, joining the emotional and motor centers. Your brain reaches full development by your 30s, and white matter reaches
your prime, right? Like your You're full of your control, your body, your thoughts. You probably got some money. You get to like exhibit. You get to perform.
Yeah.
You know, it's so true.
It's interesting because it's kind of how it feels too, in a way. At least give or take, kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
I kind of know. I feel like I've discovered who I am.
Yeah.
How I can fit into the social world, how the social world works, at least in one area, how the actual world works to some degree, and I can socially I have things I can show. I have, in my case, I have a good job, or I can go out. I know how to make friends.
Yeah.
I can meet new people. I can cherish the people I've known. It's awesome.
I mean, the big one that I've heard so much about is like, eventually you don't care. And I guess you don't care eventually because you're comfortable with who you are as a person. And when you're younger,
yeah, I think you're right.
You're falling into a lot of conformity, initiation. Initiation is being born into this planet. Initiation is the laws of the area you live in, right? What is perceived as right and wrong, because we didn't make that. We might help it along in our lifetime by passing certain legislation, but we are initiated into a world that we're not in control of, and then you have to
you're right.
You have to perform as you get older, because how quick it is where people have a kid, or they'll like say like, oh, is that kid slow, and is that kid there's like 1,000 things that you can do wrong where society, a job, a school will be like, you are less than. And recently it's nice because they've stopped that. They tried not to judge people so harshly anymore. Like remember the only insane asylums they used to throw people in? Really,
gosh, you're right.
Very cruel things they would do to people,
I need two stories. One of my ancestors, she was put in one of those asylums by her husband, I believe.
Yeah, you could do that.
We now believe, I could be wrong about this, I don't know the whole story, but it probably was nothing more than postpartum depression or something like that.
Yep.
But then he figured, well, she's insane, so off she goes.
Yep.
And my mom remembers visiting her, and she was a nice lady. Didn't seem to have any issues, like perfectly could have a conversation. Turned out like that's what made us believe this probably was nothing. But she said she was always very friendly with everyone, except obviously her husband. She'll not talk to that man.
Of course.
And you're right. We judge people so much less harshly. I remember, and you probably do, when we grew up.
Yeah.
If you were different, really, it felt like in almost any way.
Anyway, yeah.
You were, even then, just relatively modern, you were kind of cast aside.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this one's a little slow.
Special. You're special. They're slow.
Trouble. They're special in some way, but they don't mean it the way special ought to be meant.
Right. Inferior. I think inferior is what they're.
There you go. Yeah. It's a shame. Now I think we've thankfully scientifically understand better. We're trying to understand better different experiences, and hopefully
it could be like even like silly stuff like that person look at you too long. Why does he look at the wall that long? Why does he talk too much? It's like whoever these gatekeepers were from like the 50s and the 60s, absolutely brutal monster. 70s too, 80s.
Yeah,
I mean
80s.
Really
the early 90s. Really, it seems like it just like kept creeping into probably only until very recently did people finally realize, hey, maybe we can apply some of this, for example, this neuroscience stuff. And
I think it's kind of worse in a way too now, because you have this whole like woke thing and identity thing on top of everything now.
Well, so there is that.
That's even more that you just put more layers of all of it on top of the rest of it.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's another layer of pressure that I think you're right. That adds fuel to a fire unnecessarily. I think, you're different because of, this now is another but is that even fair to judge people like that?
I watched the thing about the Amish. Now they're not perfect either. I know that there's a lot of struggle, but as far as community goes, they don't have as much problems with autism and things like this. And that's more community based. And it's more they have a set rules and people follow them. So the conformity is better in a way, I guess.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I know some sects have a thing where you can leave the community for a period of time, experience say the outside world.
Yeah.
For I think it's a year or two.
Rumspringer or something.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And then you can choose to go back to the community. Have fun, or experience.
Yeah, but you
whatever.
also lose the community. You don't. You lose their support.
You can.
You have to make it. You have to make it in the world after that point.
You're right. You're on your own then. You're kind of you can do this, but you're on your own. Peace. We wish you well. Hail, fellow, well met.
But I agree with this brain part. We're gonna start getting to the older part now. Since I know I can no longer say I'm a quote young man, but I think there's a lot of things I do that keep my mind young. Like I have a relatively good way of staying sharp. I guess producing the show or playing the piano or there's a bunch of other stuff I do that I think kind of
things that are good for you.
Yeah. Even like playing the fighting game Tekken. There's so many inputs. There's so much processing. There's so much analytical kind of stuff going on. Don't just. I think you don't want to end up in a chair drinking a 30 pack and just being like set in your ways of what you think the world is. Because
I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I'd rather remain as flexible and open as I can be. Given the changing brain, but I don't want to accelerate the downsides.
Yeah, and I think it happens from just accepting the world is this way you view it, and there's no other way possible. You know,
and that's it. That's just it. I've made up my mind. Right?
It'd be like I like my mashed potatoes, my carrots, and my meat in the same spot. I don't know.
Exactly the same spot on the plate.
Yep. It gets you stuck.
Which is the highest volume at about 40. But it's not all downhill from there.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank God.
As you age, plasticity allows your brain to keep changing and adapting.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Research has shown older adults are more likely to use both sides of the brain for short-term memory, rather than just the left brain hemisphere. Middle-aged brains have also learnt to minimize the negative. Scientists have found the amygdala, the part of the brain that deals with emotion, lights up when younger people look at both positive and negative images. But for older adults, it reacts much less when shown negative images.
That's interesting.
This might be because as you age, you become more resilient.
Right.
Decades of experience in dealing with difficult situations activates neural pathways.
The perseverance, right? Experience.
Yeah. Experience, the perseverance. Yeah.
Not the whole gut reaction, emotional reaction, spazzing out.
Yeah.
Just being like, all right, I've faced this before. It's not quite like this, but it's similar.
Which can be used when you experience a similar situation.
Exactly.
For those who go through the menopause, changes to the amount of estrogen affect brain energy consumption, producing symptoms.
I think it's a lot harder to be a woman. Yeah, I think it is. There's a lot more going on with your body.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Speaking as a man, right?
Yeah.
But I'm inclined to agree. It seems a lot harder to be a woman.
I think it is harder.
Than it is to be a man.
Yeah.
Like hot flushes
I think you're right.
and mood swings. The volume of white matter also falls and doesn't recover.
Damn.
But despite this, those who are postmenopausal have higher structural connectivity between some brain regions than those who don't go through the menopause, meaning that the connections in those regions may become more efficient. The point at which your brain begins to slow down depends on your genes. But on the whole, studies show that the slowing process begins in your 30s and 40s, before accelerating in your 60s and 70s.
Damn.
Oh, man.
As you move into later life, your cerebral cortex, which is the outer layer of the brain, thins. This is particularly noticeable in the front.
It's like you can't even help it. If you live long enough, you're going to atrophy. And it's just the way our biological system works. It sucks, man.
Yeah, it's like we could try to fight it, maybe even prolong certain phases, but it's like that attachment. We're holding on to something. It's gonna change.
Yeah, it's gonna change.
And, I think it's better to
82 to 87 is probably like a big difference.
Yeah, right. Better to face it with
and
as
the
much
hippocampus,
grace as you can.
which are important for memory, emotions, and navigation.
Oh, hippocampus.
Your white matter shrinks and the brain generates fewer chemical messengers, such as dopamine and serotonin.
Oh, so your response to like joy, all that kind of stuff.
That's interesting.
Starts to diminish. So you're not quite. Yeah.
To slower cognitive processing.
Crazy.
Until very recently, neuroscientists didn't know what happens to your brain when you die. But by chance, doctors were recording the brain waves of a patient when he died of a heart attack. They found a change in a specific band of brain waves involved in high cognitive functions, such as concentrating, dreaming, and memory retrieval. Suggesting that
this is that like near-death experience, and then now they say like DMT is a naturally occurring thing, so like you get blasted with that too.
Before you die, your brain may recall important life events, which may explain why those who have near-death experiences report seeing their lives flash before them.
Yeah.
And your brain doesn't stop working, even when you're dead.
Wow.
Some studies have found that brain activity may continue for several minutes, even after your heart has stopped.
Yeah, consciousness. This is like the forefront of what's to come as far as understanding. We'll get into that.
If you'd like to read more on the brain.
All right, interesting. All right, let me drop it.
Good stuff.
All right, that was interesting.
That really was. I take heart in one thing: getting old. Getting older. Laugh. Oh, the ravages of age. I often joke. It's not all that bad. It sounds like there's some things. It's just change, especially when you consider, at least at the level of the brain. Yes, things do slow down eventually, but there seems like there's a lot of just changes, which some don't. It's how you look at them, I guess. Some don't seem that bad.
Yeah, so, it's got to be strange though when your brain just changes one day when you're in your 70s and you no longer get.
Yeah, I know.
Like you're a very excitable person. I'm excitable. Like we can get ourselves all jazzed up, and then like imagine that diminishes and you see something that used to really get you excited, and then you're just like,
I thought of that when the video said it, and I wonder if, that's going to change me in a way too. Your brain, dictates a lot of what we're doing. So it'll be interesting if I become like, have a flatter affect and just sort of
right. Yeah, that'd be strange. People would notice. Cool. You come over, you're just
probably be like,
yeah, whatever, buddy. You'd be like, what happened?
Whatever, man. Like, Comrade, are you all right?
Where'd the smile go? Where is it?
If you meditated yourself into complete, so
the
flatline state.
The thing I get is like, okay, so we talked about this in the last episode where you have less sunrises than you did before, right? So I think what happens to me, which actually makes me not move, it makes me kind of depressed, is that I feel like I've been sick today. I was sick the other day, and I haven't been like doing all the things I want to do. I'm grateful I can recover, right? But I'm also like, there's one less day to get what I need to get done, or go have like the fullest day ever. And I get so like caught up with this, and I know it's not good. It's like beating myself up,
Yeah, I know what you feel. I know what you mean, because there's this seize the moment, seize the day, live each moment.
Yeah.
Pay attention. I've often said these things to myself, others who ask, and there's this pressure attached to it too. And I think that's where it can get a little dangerous. Like people apply this intense pressure to themselves. Oh my goodness, I slept all day yesterday because I was just so tired. And now I lost an entire day of my life. And I, as a man, I only have like 28,000 something days, and I've already lived like however many, and there's one more down. How many do I have left? I think that's kind of it's natural, but I think it's a mistake to get too wrapped up in it. I totally understand what you mean.
It's hard not to. And then you realize how many hours and days you sacrifice to your job because you have to, because you need to eat and need to survive.
I thought of that this morning too.
And it's like, it's sometimes I get that thought where you're just like, well, one day I'm going to break. Like I can't always stay optimal. Yeah. It's impossible, and it's just like, I don't know. It's really hard to stay optimal. Like completely optimal.
Completely optimal. I'm all for the process of optimizing. And that's the big thing it seems out there nowadays.
Yeah.
But I think it's unnatural to function at literal 100%,
Yeah.
100% of the time. That it just doesn't work. Nothing really does that. So it's natural sometimes to have that off day.
Yeah.
And I think it's we have to remind ourselves not to, at least me, remind myself not to beat myself up over that. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have an answer because I've never really figured it out. You know, it seems like there's so many, all those paths you go are great. And then they all eventually lead somewhere where you wish you were doing something other than you were doing. Like, you know, like,
yeah.
and it's like, I've gone, one time I was in Germany and I was in Bonn, Germany by myself. Right. And you just think to yourself, like, first of all, you're like, I want to go to Europe. I want to go to a big city. I was by myself, right?
Yeah.
So like,
okay.
I'm like walking around a city and there's no one to share the experience with. Oh, my camera's going crazy. And which is great because no one's telling me what to do. I'm independent, strong enough to lead myself. But then after a while, I was walking around for a couple hours and I was like, I'm like, is this even fun? I'm just sitting on this bench. I'm just watching. I'm like, I'm just going to go back to the hotel room and just lay in the bed. So like, it's like, even I did it. It was fine. It was a good memory, but it's like, I thought it would be epic, you know, maybe because of movies where you meet cool people and you go on this adventure and then you just realize you're just you're just a tourist and I don't know, you start to get hungry, you start to get tired and then you just want to go into bed.
It's funny. I had an experience in Hong Kong. It was part of a class and I was, you know, in the room and my roommate said, I'm just going to go out for a second. And I forget what he was going to do. And I was jet lagged out of my mind. My old thing's only there for a week, so I'm going to seize the moment. This is 24-hour city. I love East Asia, and Hong Kong. I've wanted to see this. Well, I'm going to take a little nap. Well, you know, 4 hours later, right? Oh, no. I just blew 4 hours in a room. Like, what a waste of time. I was so angry. But then I realized, you know, comfort in a way. Hong Kong is a 24-hour city and, you know, it's right outside my front door. I could go to, there's this night market. So I said, all right, I haven't really lost much.
Yeah.
I did get some sleep and the room was pretty cool.
Yeah.
To see like kind of Kowloon out the window. So yeah, it was just me at that point, but it was fun and I did have the adventure. I did end up meeting people in the night market and stuff.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, I think
so in a way, I was glad I slept.
Well, it sounds like you needed to sleep. But I think
I did. Yeah.
The expectation. I mean, I think a lot of times as you get older, comfort wins. Comfort usually wins.
Yeah.
Adventures are fun, but they're risky. They're expensive, and they don't always go the way you plan. But comfort, you know, we like comfort. You know, and that's also our downfall too. I think
it's true. I will say, comfort can be a downfall, but I completely understand.
Yeah.
I completely understand why it would win out because sometimes you just want that nice bed to sleep in and actually just be able to sleep, you know?
Yeah, if you have an adventure for like 5 days straight and it's action packed, you just can't wait to go to sleep. You can't wait to take a shower, get in your pajamas and watch a movie, you know?
It's true. I'm pretty wiped out after that. I had a great time during it, but yeah, when it's all over, I'm ready to just
but on
with that six pack.
On the getting old front, I mean, if I dress and shower, I can look fine. I can look much younger than I am. But then, like my back hurts, my feet hurt more than they used to.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, that's true.
When I wear contacts now, I can't read like print like I used to. That just happened in the past year.
Oh, I experienced that too. Where if you hold print, in my case, if I hold the print close up and it's small enough. With my contacts on, I can't read it.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
It is.
There was a time when I could, at least I think there was.
Yeah.
And now I can't. And I do actually laugh. I yelled at myself in kind of a fun way. Like, come on, old man. You could do this.
There's a lot of people that die young, but I guess it is a privilege to be able to, you know, it's all good. I'm happy. Well, I just have to remember to schedule myself a little bit better. And from that previous video we watched about saying goodbye, you know, the ride, go with the ride. And don't another one thing I stopped. I don't let people rush me anymore. I used to let people really rush me with their judgments.
I really like that.
And like, I still let it happen, but there's a lot of times it don't, where I'm like, listen, man, you're not rushing me. I'm not stepping out of your way all goofy. I'm not going to like care what you think. Like, I'm not rushing. I'm not rushing to get in my car, find my keys. No, I'm going to find my keys and then put them in.
I remember you saying that we were talking one day, and you said that I don't like when people rush me. And,
I hate it.
I'm not, going to play that game. And it stuck with me in a good way, because I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, sometimes I do it to myself more than anyone does. I do it to myself, and it's like, what am I doing? Like, why I'm like frantically running around looking for my keys to go. Like, there's time.
Just take a second.
Just take that
when you
second,
go pat all your pockets down and all, like, just thoroughly check yourself, right? Zipper your jacket up, take a deep breath, step outside. Don't
step outside.
Also,
I'm laughing because I have been the guy like patting my pockets, like frantically looking for the keys, and like, like some kind of primitive man.
I still get caught up with it, but like anymore now, I'm just like, I'm gonna go at my own pace, which is still a perfectly normal pace. I'm just not gonna be a spaz. I'm just not doing it. I'm not gonna even answer a question quickly anymore. I'll just be like,
that's right.
Moment, please.
Yeah, take that moment.
Yeah.
It's a more mindful way of, it struck me too, because it struck me in my path to trying to be more mindful in general. It's a mindful way of living. Like, okay, my keys, I'm gonna zip up my coat. It's gonna, like, I don't have to race around like some kind of a lunatic. I can plan better. I can manage my time. And I can enjoy it.
Give yourself the respect you deserve by not rushing yourself.
There you go.
It's important. I guess that's what I'm learning as I'm getting older. It's just
there you go. I like that.
Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your worrying and all that. Just go with it. And be like, for instance, if you go somewhere and they're just like, there's a lot of rushing around going on and people are charging at you and all. Now I just gotta stand where I'm at. I'm like, go ahead, run into me. Go ahead, it's fine. Like I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna,
right. You're right. Instead of like, like jumping out of everybody's way.
Oh, I gotta pay now. Hold on, let me get my wallet. It's like no. I don't do that no more.
It's true. It's so true.
I guess that's one good thing about getting more. Mature.
Yeah, true.
All right. Well, anything else?
No, I think we covered it. We're good. I'm good.
Let's lead this out with something nice and calm.